25 granite containers weighing 100 tons each are located in Egypt. Engineers have not provided a definitive explanation for their manufacturing process. An iron pillar in India has resisted oxidation for 16 centuries, outperforming modern steel degradation rates. A device resembling a battery found in Iraq predates Volta's invention by 2,000 years. Standard historical texts often omit these objects because their authors did not examine them. 7 ancient artifacts exist that challenge conventional chronologies. All these items are tangible and housed in museums. They alter established historical paradigms. Auguste Mariette located a stone sphinx near the Step Pyramid in 1850. Excavation revealed an avenue leading to a subterranean structure. Dynamite was used to breach the sealed limestone tunnels. The main gallery contained 25 black and pink granite boxes. Dimensions are 4 meters long, 2.5 meters wide, and 3.3 meters high. Lids weigh 30 tons. Total mass approaches 100 tons, equivalent to a loaded railcar, positioned in a narrow niche. Inside, the containers were empty with smooth walls. The site is officially classified as a burial ground for Apis bulls. No bovine remains or mummification evidence were found inside the opened boxes. Engineer Christopher Dunn measured the interior surfaces. Using an industrial gauge with a 0.0002-inch tolerance, he found the flatness matches modern CNC machining capabilities. Angles are exactly 90 degrees with a 4 mm corner radius. A modern manufacturing firm stated reproducing a monolithic granite box would require assembling 6 separate plates. The ancient artifacts are single pieces from Aswan, 800 kilometers away, made of stone with a Mohs hardness of 6 or higher. Space limitations preclude the use of massive work crews, and the method used to maneuver 100-ton blocks around corners into tight niches remains unidentified. Hydraulic technology is not historically recognized for this period. One unfinished box remains in a corridor. Exterior hieroglyphs are roughly carved, contrasting with the interior polish. The inscriptions were likely added millennia after manufacturing. Sponge divers encountered a shipwreck near Antikythera in 1901. A diver reported finding human remains at a depth of 60 meters. The captain investigated and identified a Roman vessel that sank around the year 5. The remains were marble statues, accompanied by a piece of oxidized bronze and coins. The bronze item remained in the National Archaeological Museum in Athens for 2 years, until Spiridon Stace noticed a fracture. A precision-cut gear was visible inside the ancient object. X-ray tomography revealed 37 bronze gears, the largest being 13 centimeters in diameter with 223 teeth. The mechanism calculated the positions of the Sun, Moon, and 5 planets. It predicted eclipses, tracked the Olympic Games, and displayed lunar phases, achieving mathematical precision unmatched in Europe for centuries. The mechanism accounted for the Moon's variable speed in its elliptical orbit using 2 gears mounted on an offset axis. This design constitutes a differential gear. The triangular gear teeth demonstrate uniformity inconsistent with manual filing. Instructions were inscribed on the back panel. The front panel originally featured colored spherical indicators for celestial bodies. Researchers categorized the device as a synthesis of Babylonian astronomy and Platonic mathematics. The creator possessed astronomical comprehension that surpassed general human knowledge for the next 20 centuries. Cicero described a similar machine built by Archimedes in Syracuse. The Antikythera mechanism was part of a broader engineering tradition. At the Qutb complex in Delhi, an iron pillar measures 7.2 meters in height and weighs over 6 tons. A Sanskrit inscription links it to King Chandragupta II from the 1st century. The pillar has stood outdoors for 10 centuries with minimal oxidation. Standard iron deteriorates rapidly, requiring frequent maintenance. A cannonball impact in the 18th century left only a dent at the 4-meter mark. Scientific investigations began in 1912. R. Balasubramaniam published a definitive study 91 years later. X-ray diffraction, electrochemical tests, and microscopy revealed the iron contains approximately 1% phosphorus. Sulfur and magnesium levels are negligible, promoting the formation of a crystalline iron-hydrogen phosphate hydrate layer measuring 1/20th millimeter. This layer functions as a protective barrier that seals microfissures during moisture cycles. The metallurgical technique produced an oxidation-resistant material 15 centuries prior to modern stainless steel. The iron was forge-welded to retain phosphorus without modern instrumentation. Contemporary metallurgy has not exactly replicated this combination of composition and durability. The unpainted structure resists degradation more effectively than modern industrial iron. The British Museum houses the Lycurgus cup, the sole intact example of ancient dichroic glass. The glass appears green when illuminated from the front and red when illuminated from behind. The exterior depicts King Lycurgus entangled in vines with Dionysus. The fabrication involved casting a thick glass block and cutting it into a cage-like structure. The color-changing property originates from the glass matrix rather than the carving. Electron microscopy analysis in the 1990s provided the explanation. The glass matrix contains gold and silver alloy particles measuring approximately 50 nanometers. Electromagnetic radiation interacting with these particles causes electron oscillation, altering the wavelength. Silver reflects green wavelengths, while gold transmits red. This phenomenon, surface plasmon resonance, is currently applied in sensor technologies. Roman artisans integrated pulverized gold and silver into the glass at a 7:3 ratio. Cambridge researchers successfully replicated this effect in 2014 by manufacturing arrays of 16 million nanometers per millimeter. The original artifact was created 16 centuries ago without optical magnification. Researchers are adapting this principle for highly sensitive water contamination detectors. The methodology has contemporary applications in public health 17 centuries later. Railway construction near Baghdad in 1936 uncovered an ancient burial site in 1936. Located near the ruins of Ctesiphon, the findings included a 14-centimeter clay jar containing a copper cylinder. An iron rod was suspended inside the cylinder, and the opening was sealed with bitumen. Wilhelm Koenig identified the components as a galvanic cell featuring two metals with different electrochemical potentials separated for a liquid electrolyte. Corrosion patterns indicated the historical presence of an acidic substance. Scientist Willard Gray constructed a replica using grape juice, which successfully generated an electrical current. The device produces approximately 1 volt. Linking multiple units could power electroplating processes. Similar artifacts were discovered in Seleucia, accompanied by bronze and iron needles. Roman physician Scribonius Largus documented the medical application of electrical torpedo fish in the 1st century. Electrical principles were applied in medical contexts before the formal scientific classification of electricity. The artifact predates Volta's official invention by at least 16 centuries, but it was stolen from the museum in 2003. The loss prevents further contemporary material analysis. Walter Emery excavated the tomb of Sabu in the Saqqara necropolis in 1936. A fractured stone disc measuring 61 centimeters in diameter was located near the skeletal remains. It is carved from metasiltstone, a highly brittle material. The object features 3 curved lobes converging on a central hub, physically resembling a modern centrifugal pump impeller. The tomb dates to the First Dynasty, approximately 5,000 years ago. The method of carving delicate lobes from a fragile stone without fracturing it remains undetermined. An engineer tested a 3D printed replica demonstrating its functionality as a centrifugal impeller that displaces water. When rotated without a housing, the disc generated a strong fluid vortex. Airbus engineers produced models and verified their aerodynamic properties, although the disc is not viable as a propeller. Egyptologist Cyril Aldred proposed the artifact is a stone replica of an older component. If the disc replicates a functional mechanism, it indicates the existence of unrecorded engineering applications. Knowledge of centrifugal fluid displacement existed in the Nile Valley 5,000 years ago.
Farmers near Xi'an discovered fragments of clay figures in 1974, initiating the excavation of over 8,000 life-size ceramic soldiers. Each statue has unique facial features derived from 8 basic molds. They were constructed for the tomb of Qin Shi Huang using a workforce of 700,000 individuals. Less than 1% of the site has been excavated. Recovered artifacts include over 40,000 bronze arrowheads, swords up to 95 centimeters long, spears, and crossbow mechanisms. After 2,200 years, the bronze blades exhibited minimal oxidation and retained sharp cutting edges. Scientists initially attributed the preservation to a chromate conversion coating. This hypothesis was striking because chromating was patented in the 20th century. A 2019 study refuted this theory. The chromium originated from lacquer applied to wooden handles, not from a metallurgical treatment. The preservation resulted from the bronze alloy's high tin content combined with local soil chemistry. The alkaline loess soil of Xi'an functioned as an optimal preservation environment. Bronze replicas buried in the local soil remained pristine after 4 months of testing. Identical samples buried in British soil exhibited severe corrosion over the same period. Qin dynasty metallurgists 22 centuries ago utilized an alloy and environmental combination that prevented degradation. The practical application of these preservation factors outlasted subsequent historical empires. Over 40,000 weapons remained intact underground. The artifacts are documented and physically accessible in various museums. Physical verification is possible without relying on extraterrestrial hypotheses. Historical populations possessed technological understanding that modern society is currently replicating. Practices categorized as ordinary craftsmanship in antiquity parallel contemporary technological advancements. Technological development manifests non-linearly. The primary inquiry concerns the historical loss of this information.